Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall, and we're here with the Extreme Forces Racing League from Auto Club Speedway for the Extreme Forces Racing League NexGen Cup Series. My name is Josh Hall. We're getting ready for an exciting one here tonight at Auto Club. Let's take a look at our points though before we talk about anything else. And Brady Floyd, currently your points leader. 2 top fives, being consistent up there at the top of the points. Chris Wheeler with a win in a top 5. Sitting back in second. Bryn George, Max McClure, and Eddie Morse round out your top 5. And we saw a rough race last week with a lot of not so much give and take. And tonight, we're hoping to see a much better, cleaner race. These guys have talked and worked things out. And I'm starting to realize that we're racing with people who they haven't raced with before. So looking forward to seeing exactly how these guys learn to race each other a little bit cleaner. And I'm looking for a good one here tonight. Again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, or if you're watching on eRacing TV. What's eRacing TV? Well, it's a free app that you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku. You can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week. So you can find that at eRacing TV on Amazon Fire Sticks and the Roku. And we have we're just about to get practice underway. Eddie Morris at the top of the speed charts for the moment, but that's just for practice. With some drafting practice, we're going to have to see how these guys navigate Auto Club Speedway. And we already got our first driver out on track, and that is the 6 of Brady Floyd. Oh, Brady Floyd has some issues coming off of pit road. Let's see who else is out there right now. Chris Wheeler, second in points, out on track now. So he navigates this 2-mile D-shaped oval. Started running like a super speedway, hanging up tight against the wall to get the car all wound up. And Auto Cup Speedway is the sister track to Michigan International Speedway, so you'll see a lot of similarities as far as the way they race. Although Auto Club is much bumpier than Michigan is. You can see that as Chris came down the backstretch, how much that car was bouncing around. He'll be the first car to set a time and currently sitting on the pole. And you can see just how much that car is bouncing around down the backstretch. Right down to the apron through turns 3 and 4, or not the apron, but that bottom lane. Right against the white line as he comes across the line here. And that'll put him up into, still in pole. That was his best lap with a 42.40. See who else is out on track right now. Looks like Eddie Morris coming across the line here. Like Eddie's going to pull down to the bottom here and just have the one lap. Let's see who else is out on track right now. Sorry, I'm adjusting some graphics here on my end. I apologize for the delay. Let's see who else. Joe Wright out on track. Just moved up into the third position. And that's going to finish his lap. There's like 4 drivers left to qualify. Jimmy Green, Dean Qualley, Travis Paul, and Stan Mayberry. Like right now, just those 4 left to pit. So, Auto Club Speedway, let's take a look at the track information here, the race info. 2 Mile Speedway, located in Fontana, California. Originally opened as California Speedway. Opened in 1997, 14 degrees in the turns. 11 degrees on the front stretch, 3 degrees on the back stretch, as you saw, very bumpy on the back stretch as well. So we're going to have a bit of a substitute driver here tonight as well. Word just came through as we take a look at our grid. And Tyler Aspinall will be your points pole sitter tonight here at Auto Club in the 45 machine, with Chris Wheeler starting to his outside. Row 2 will find the 82 of Joe Wright and the 15 of Austin Green starting in 4th. 5th place will find the 4 of Dylan Dunford, and Brady Floyd, our points leader, will be rolling off in 6th. Max McClure in 7th in the 19 machine, with Jacob Bowe to his outside in row number 4. Then row 5, your top 10, Stoney Benfield in the 75, and Dave Wright in the 24. Mike Rentz in the 91, he'll be rolling off 11th, with Eddie Morris in the 8 and 12th. We saw Eddie show some speed in practice. We'll have to see what he does here in the race. Jimmy Green in the 25, rolling off 13th, with Dean Qualley in the 17 and 14th. Travis Paul and Stan Mayberry will round out the field. And Dean Qualley in that 17 machine, well, that's actually not Dean who's going to be starting this race. That's going to be Brooke Qualley. Be her first time running in this car, and she's going to be substituting until Dean can get back into the car himself. So we'll have to see how she handles the next-gen cars here at Auto Club Speedway. So the pace car is rolling, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing here at Auto Club Speedway. Again, thanks for joining us here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who your pick to win is tonight. What do you think it's going to be? Our pole sitter, Tyler Aspinall? Somebody more from the middle of the field like Dylan Dunford or Max McClure, or somebody towards the back like Eddie Morris, who showed a lot of speed in practice, or Dean Qualley or Brooke Qualley back there in the back. We'll have to see after this race concludes in about 90 laps. The pace car is getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn on the pit road. Tyler Aspinall is going to lead him down to the green flag. Green flag is in the air. And we are racing here at Auto Club Speedway in a pretty good jump here for Tyler Aspinall, with Joe Wright giving him a big push from behind. And we know Joe likes this track a lot. It mirrors one of his favorite tracks, which is Michigan, as they're already spreading out 3 wide down the backstretch. Joe Wright's going to move himself into second. Chris Wheeler, though, looking to the back bumper of Joe, trying to take that second position back away, as Joe's going to look to the high side of Tyler Aspinall as they come off of turn number 4. And who's going to lead the first lap here as Joe's trying to get that big draft. They're 3 wide behind with Dave Wright, Dylan Dunford. I believe that's Austin Green back there. Yep, they were all 3 wide back there. And here comes Brady Floyd, already trying to work his way up to the front. He's on the back bumper of Joe Wright. As Joe Wright's going to force it 3 wide off the corner. No, he's going to tuck back in to make it 2 wide. They're 3 wide behind is the 15 of Austin Green, Eddie Morris, and Brady Floyd. Sorry, that's not Eddie Morris. That's the 22 of Chris Wheeler. Are 3 wide down the backstretch. Eddie Morris is just hanging back behind this group as they continue to be 3 wide off of turn number 2. Tyler Aspinall still continues to lead. We see Chris Wheeler working all the way down to the apron, to Eddie Morris all the way up against the wall. A lot of room here at this track, very wide. A lot of different grooves that you can run, and you're seeing that now as Joe Wright makes a big move down to the bottom in turns 1 and 2. He's going to slide right up to the top here off of turn 2 and take the lead. And a big lead he has, and that's going to hurt him, I think, as he comes into turn 3, as he's going to have a big sniff of draft from behind, as Tyler Aspinall is now going to throw it down to the bottom to see if he can take the lead back away. Here comes Austin Green in the 15, also trying to take the lead here, coming underneath Joe Wright to take that second position. Joe, though, crossover, looking back to the high side. Austin Green not sure which lane to take. He's going to tuck in below, down on the bottom side now with Tyler Aspinall. And he's going to actually get real tight, pushes up the track. And that's going to allow Dave Wright to come in here as well, as we see Dave Wright on the bottom lane. Now he's back to 2 wide as Austin Green tucks in on the top. Dave already up 5 positions from where he started, trying to work around Austin Green here and move himself solidly into the 5th position. Up front, Joe Wright is just taking the lead back from Tyler Aspinall. And here comes Brady Floyd, our points leader, giving Joe the big tuck, the big push. There goes Aspinall tucking in right in front of Eddie Morris. Eddie didn't really like that too much. He's going to look down to the bottom side, try to get around the 45 machine. As they come off of 2, they're side by side. Here comes the 15 of Austin Green to give some help to Eddie Morris. You also got the 28 Jacob Bowman on the bottom side, and Max McClure. Bowman's going to tuck back up to the high side. Max McClure underneath Chris Wheeler, trying to take over that 8th position as we're back to 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Dave Wright, Tyler Aspinall, Austin Green, 3 wide. As they come down onto the front stretch, Eddie Morris up into 3rd place. Eddie up 9 spots from where he started. So a lot of movers here early in the races. We're working just lap number 6, and they are still 3 wide as they work through turns 1 and 2. A little wiggle there out of that 24 machine. Here comes Jacob Bowen. I thought he was going to work with Dave Wright there, and oh, Bowen gets really loose there off the corner, able to gather it up and hold on to it. Now up front, Joe Wright and Brady Floyd battling for the lead. Floyd's going to have to tuck in. Here goes Eddie Morris with the big move under Brady Floyd. We know those two have a little bit of a friendly rivalry together. And now Aspinall diving down to the bottom to make it 3 wide as we go into turn 1 and 2. But Joe Wright, loving to see the racing going on behind him as it's allowing him to start to pull away just a little bit. Eddie Morris not able to clear Brady Floyd, so he's going to have to stay tucked in. Joe Wright comes down to give the little draft down to Eddie, but With all those cars lined up on the high lane, it's kind of like Daytona or Talladega. You're just going to see that top lane have the energy to move itself forward. Although Eddie Morris is doing a good job of trying to keep himself up there as Tyler Aspinall comes down and does a little side draft there to pull Eddie backwards. Now Aspinall is going to dive down back to the bottom underneath Brady Floyd to try to retake that second position. Yeah, it's really tight though. Carried too much speed. He had to get out of it. That allowed Jacob Bowen to join the party here and move into the third position. See Tyler Aspinall and Eddie Morris now working together on that bottom lane. Trying to get something going to get themselves back up to the front. Chris Wheeler, meanwhile, back up into the fourth position. He's starting to move his way back up to the front here, after falling almost to the tail end of the field here. And a big breakaway right now as we see this race going on now. Jacob Bowen underneath Brady Floyd trying to take second position away. And while all that's going on, you can see behind the second group way back here, these guys are racing hard for the back of the field. Travis Paul, Mike Rentz, Stan Mayberry, Story Benfield, Jimmy Green, Dean Qualley. Actually, it's Brooke Qualley right now in that 17 machine. But right now the race up front is heating up. And we're only on lap number 10 of 90. Joe runs the defensive line down into the bottom lane as they go through turns 1 and 2. Brady Floyd, though, on the high lane is going to be able to get a little bit of a run here as he's going to keep that momentum off the corner. Here comes Brady Floyd now down to the bottom, trying to retake that position away. But Joe continuing the lead here. Now Jacob Bowen now working that bottom lane, trying to get around Eddie Morris. Not going to have the momentum though. Here comes Brady Floyd with a big run on Joseph Wright. Uses a little bit of side draft. Tries to pull that 82 car backwards. As they come off of turn number 4, Floyd's going to have to tuck back in behind Joe Wright. Joe's got a strong piece up there tonight. He's able to keep Brady Floyd at bay behind him. Here goes Tyler Aspinall down underneath Jacob Bowen, trying to take away that fourth position. Aspinall looks like he's going to... No, they're going to be side by side here as they come off of turn number 2, and that high lane has the momentum and the strong draft to keep them up in the lead. Looks like Dave Wright having some issues, maybe losing the draft, falling back to that second group. It's going to be tough for him to get back up there without a caution. Now Eddie Morris to the lead as he's going to move right down to the bottom lane. Him and Jacob Bowen are working hard together. Brady Floyd and Joseph Wright on the high side. We're side by side for the lead, 2 by 2. Now Jacob Bowen's going to try to make it 3 wide and try to get around Eddie Morris here. Eddie's going to lose all his momentum on that low side. Oh, here comes Eddie Morris with the fight back on the bottom. Here comes Max McClure on that low line, trying to get up there to help Eddie. Not quite close enough yet to make anything happen. So Eddie Morris falling back into the pack as Brady Floyd now looking to the inside of Joe Wright, trying to take that lead away. So hard racing all over the track right now. We're only 14 laps in. Jacob Bowen now trying to use a side draft on the 6th car. And here comes Tyler Aspinall trying to get his own run here down the backstretch. Oh, Aspinall gets a little loose there. Almost slides up in front of Eddie Morris. Eddie, though, with the momentum, with the run on that high side, with the group together, he's able to get right back by Aspinall, as Aspinall's going to be tucked down on the bottom here. He's going to be pinched down, and Eddie Morris is going to be able to drive right on by. Tyler able to sneak up in front of the 15. Max McClure, seeing that 15 is going to have to check up, takes advantage, jumps underneath Austin Green as they go into turn number 3 side by side. Oh, Green catches the wall just a little bit, and that's going to kill his momentum, as Max McClure is going to easily be able to clear that 15 machine. Up front, though, Jacob Bowen, again, trying to get to Joseph Wright here. Oh, wow, we've got them starting to stretch out a little bit here. Let's take a moment. Let's pump up the intensity. Eddie Morris moving down to the bottom side there. Able to get back around Joe Wright. Joe Wright fighting back on the bottom. Get back around Eddie Morris. And you see as they came down the backstretch, this really gives a really good view just how bumpy this backstretch is. You can see these cars moving around a lot, bouncing up and down as they come down the backstretch. And it's not easy to hold the car straight while the car's bouncing around like that, as Eddie Morris now looking down to the inside underneath Joe Wright, trying to take the lead back away. Oh, we got a yellow flag on the track, and that is for the stage break. So Joseph Wright is going to be your stage winner tonight. There's so much good racing going on, I forgot that the stage was going to end. So Joseph Wright is your stage winner. Eddie Morris is going to get second. Jacob Bowen, Brady Floyd, Max McClure in third. Tyler Aspinall, Austin Green, Dylan Dunford, and then the 22 of Chris Wheeler is going to get that, ninth, and then Jimmy Green in 10th is going to get that very last stage point. So as the field catches the pace car here, we're going to get ready for some pit stops. A lot of clean racing. I'm sure these guys plan on taking some tires and getting back out there. We'll have to see if anybody goes fuel only. As the field works off of turn number 3 and into turn number 4. See who actually does come down onto pit road. And it looks like everybody's coming onto pit road here. Let's find the line here so we can watch the race off pit road. There we go. This will be the race off of pit road right here. Joe Wright was your leader. As they come off of pit up road. Oh, Jacob Bowen's going to beat Joe Wright off by just a little bit. Eddie Morris third. Jimmy Green. Tyler Aspinall, Max McClure. So Jacob Bowen getting the win off of pit road, and not by much. Let's rewind that back. Let's see how close that race off of pit road really was. And there it is. Jacob Bowen beats Joe Wright off by just a nose to get off of pit road first. And then it's a way back until we come to Eddie Morris coming off in third. Eddie Morris with a really long pit stop. And then the 25 of Jimmy Green, Tyler Aspinall. The 19 of Max McClure. The 44 of Stan Mayberry. And then Brooke Qualley coming off last. So, and it comes down to the pit stop times. As you can see, Jacob Bowen with 11.17 pit stop, gaining all those positions there. Joe Wright with 14.93. Wonder if Jacob took just 2 tires. Eddie Morris with a very long stop, though, 17.67. Couple 15-second stops, so a couple drivers having some longer stops. I don't know if Eddie maybe had a little bit of damage, and that's why he had a little bit longer stop. We'll have to find out here. Let's bring our stage winner in. Talk to him about the race here. Well, maybe not. I still don't have permissions to move people around. See if I can do this. Oh, looks like we're about to go back green flag racing, so won't be able to talk to Joe here. The pace car has pulled off. We're getting ready to go back. Green flag is back in the air. We're back to racing here at Auto Club as Jacob Bowen gets a great jump on that high lane and able to almost sneak ahead of Joe Wright, but Joe's got Eddie Morris giving him the big shove down the front stretch and into turn number 1.
Battery low.
So they work their way down the backstretch. Eddie Morris giving the big shove now to Joe Wright down the backstretch.
Charging battery.
To keep him up in the front here. Tyler Aspinall, though, in third underneath Jacob Bowen. Here comes the 44 of Stan Mayberry. Haven't talked much about Mayberry tonight, but he's got a good run going now. Up into this, well, he's up in the 8th position now. Trying to work underneath our points leader, Brady Floyd. They're side by side. Jimmy Green now having a great run. He was back in that backpack for quite a while. Now he's racing up here. He's up into the 3rd position, trying to get himself a nice podium finish here. Is Max McClure now up on the high side. Tyler Aspinall giving a big shove now to the 25. Jimmy Green as they come down the front stretch, and Max McClure trying to make an aggressive diving move down to the bottom. They're just 3 wide behind as Brady Floyd split Jacob Bowen and Stan Mayberry to move himself up into the 6th position. Right now, your two leaders, though, doing a little almost tandem drafting, starting to pull away from the rest of the field. As you can see, the field really starting to fan out through the corners. As now Eddie Morris is looking down to the bottom side, trying to take that lead away. Here comes the 25 of Jimmy Green as well. Jimmy Green's trying to join this party. Eddie Morris is going to clear Joe Wright. Joe's going to cross him over. Or he tried to cross him over, but realizes that coming up to the corner, he's going to tuck right in behind. And Jimmy Green trying to get up here into the mix. A little further back, Stoney Benfield under attack. He just got passed by the 17 of Dean Qualley. And now Stoney's got Dylan Dunford right behind him trying to take that position away. Max McClure with some pressure from Brady Floyd as they come down the front stretch. Brady trying to use a little side draft here to pull Max backwards. Almost some contact as they come down the front stretch. And meanwhile in front, Tyler Aspinall makes a big dive to the bottom on those fresh tires. Gets around Eddie Morris. Now he's going to try for Jimmy Green. Try to take that second position away as they come down the backstretch. Eddie Morris going to tuck up there with the 25. Joe's trying to work both lanes here, trying to keep the momentum behind him stalled. Now Joe's going to run that higher lane. Here comes Jimmy Green on the bottom trying to take the lead away. And as they come across the line this time, Jimmy Green all the way down on the apron is going to lead that lap by just a hair as they come into turn number 1. Joe Wright now has the train behind him up on that high side, trying to keep Jimmy Green pinched down on the bottom. Eddie Morris now working back, and Jacob Bowen had some issues in the back here. He is trying to hold on to it. He loops it around on the backstretch, catches the inside wall, way off the racing surface, so I don't believe there's going to be a yellow as he gets it refired and rolling again. Joe Wright, Tyler Aspinall working up on the high side now, getting back around the leader, Jimmy Green. Let's see if we can see what happened to Jacob here. We saw him getting really loose, and he was sliding. He was trying to hold on to it. He was trying to save it. He almost had it saved, and then ends up just looping it around on the backstretch, catches the inside wall kind of hard, and it's going to hurt his chances tonight unless he can catch a yellow. But right now, we're still running green flag laps as the only caution that we've had tonight was for the stage break. So we are a third of the way through the race, and Joseph Wright continuing the lead over Eddie Morris, although Eddie is trying to get back around that 82 machine, and now we've got two distinct packs yet again as the front seven are starting to pull away from the rest of the field. Tyler Aspinall trying to work that low lane now with the 25, trying to make something happen here. They come off of turn number 2. And again, you can see two distinct packs coming off the corner. Oh, contact! Stan Mayberry, Brady Floyd go around. Yellow flag is out. Brady Floyd going through the grass down there in John Deere country. That's going to bring up our first wreckage rewind of the night. See if we can see what happened Looks like it might have been a bit of a bump draft gone wrong. We'll take a look at this from the blimp here. We see that they're 3 wide. Oh, Brady gets up into the side of the 44 twice. Maybe no bump draft gone wrong. I thought maybe Max might have pushed the 6 forward, but Max right there able to sneak through. Incredible driving for that 19 machine. As Brady Floyd and the 44 go sliding down through the infield. I want to actually bring that back just a little bit. I want to look at that from Max McClure's point of view here. As it happens right in front of him, and he's able to sneak on by with no damage. Right now, though, we've got the entire field on the pit road. Dylan Dunford stays out, but the rest of the field comes down pit road. Here's your race off pit road as Joe Ray has just come off first. Jimmy Green, Eddie Morris. There goes Tyler Aspinall. Looks like Sonny Benfield comes off next. Travis Paul. Chris Wheeler. No, Chris Wheeler's still on track, so. Or still in the pits, I should say, so. Joseph Wright was going to beat everybody off the pits here. Looks like Tyler Aspinall had a 14-second stop. Looks like he took 4 tires there. Joseph Wright, Jimmy Green, Eddie Morris, all taking 2 tires. Or fuel only, I should say. Sonny Benfield, Travis Paul, also taking fuel only with 6-second stops. Then Chris Wheeler, Austin Green, they both took tires. Max McClure was on pit road for 24 seconds. I think he might have had a little damage. Now Dylan Dunford's going to come down pit road. Looks like he might have stayed out just to lead a lap. Get a bonus point. That's going to put Joseph Wright back as your leader as the lights are off on the pace car. We're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Auto Club. Don't forget, I can see you guys watching. We got 9 people watching here. 1 on Twitch, 5 on YouTube, 3 on Facebook. Let us know who you're pulling for tonight here. Who you think's going to get the win? Is it going to be one of our front runners who've been running consistent all season, like Brady Floyd or Chris Wheeler? It's going to be Joe Wright, who's been dominating this race. Is it going to be a dark horse, someone who's kind of hung out at the back all night? Someone like Mike Rentz, Stan Mayberry. Let us know in the comments who you think it's going to be. So again, Joe Wright's going to choose the inside on this restart. Putting Jimmy Green on the outside. Pace car's getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Auto Club Speedway, and Joe Wright and Eddie Morris again with another great restart. Able to leave Jimmy Green in the dust. Here comes Tyler Aspinall, though, working that bottom lane again, trying to get around Jimmy Green. As he comes off of turn number 2, he's going to be below Eddie Morris now, trying to take over that second spot. Oh, gets a little loose off the corner, though. And now Jimmy Green with the big run on the low side. trying to battle back for the lead here, coming off of turn number 4 and down through the front stretch. Loses all his momentum. He's going to fall back to 4th behind Aspinall now. Here comes Stoney Benfield in the 75 coming into the picture. Someone we haven't really talked about too much tonight. Having a great run here, as now he's getting passed by the 24 of David Wright. David's starting to have a good run here, making his way up through the front as we got a 3-wide battle for the lead. Aspinall on the bottom, Eddie Morris in the middle, Joe Wright on top. As they come through turns 1 and 2, 3 wide. Aspinall is going to take the lead away. He's going to push up off the track. Slide up in front of Joe Wright. Here comes the slide job from Aspinall on Joe Wright. Here comes Eddie Morris, though, up, down on the bottom. Joe makes the big move down to get back around Aspinall. Move Joe back in the lead. Here comes Eddie Morris. Tucking in below, and the crossover again from Aspinall down the front stretch. Aspinall down onto the apron. Gets a little loose, slides back up. Here comes Dave Wright trying to force a 3 wide. He's going to tuck back in, though, behind Eddie Morris as they come through turns 1 and 2. And now Eddie, Dave, and Jimmy Green 3 wide back here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Aspinall is going to take the lead back away from Joe, but Joe's going to cross him over yet again. Work that side draft as they go through turns 3 and 4. And Jimmy Green's going to shove his nose in there to follow Joe Wright along past Tyler Aspinall. And as they come off of turn number 4, Jimmy Green's going to have the big run now. He's going to work his way down to the apron. Nobody down there, though, to help him out. He's going to be stuck down there all alone. Here comes Dave Wright, though, trying to give a little push here. As the yellow flag is out. And it looks like that's for Dylan Dunford, who had some issues on the backstretch. Actually, Travis Paul slow on the front stretch, and that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind here. Well, it looks like it all starts with the 38 of Travis Paul. Up on the high side, catches the wall just a little bit. Jacob Bowen gets a huge run. A little contact between those two. He goes sliding down through the grass. And then I'm not sure what happened to Dylan Dunford. I think he was just off the pace from something that happened earlier. It looks like Dylan Dunford had to come back down pit road. So he missed the, with the green flag, he was a little further behind, and now he's on pit road. And Stoney Benfield, Brady Floyd, Mike Renz, Dean Qualley, Travis Paul, all on pit road. Your leaders, though, deciding to stay out. As they work through turns 3 and 4, we get ready to go back. Green flag racing. Joe Wright is going to be your leader. Jimmy Green We'll be restarting in second. We'll have to see if Joe takes the inside or the outside. Right behind him, he's got Tyler Aspinall and Dave Wright. And if he was to choose the high side here, he'd have his brother right behind him. We'll have to see if that's the choice he makes. No, he's going to stay down on the bottom. So interesting call, not going with your teammate here. So Joe Wright's going to lead him back down to the restart zone. No, he does choose the high side, so he changed his mind. Moves up to the high side. He got his brother right behind him, so he can have the best push on the restart here. So Joe Wright with his brother and Eddie Morris, 3 teammates lined up on that high side. Jimmy Green's got Tyler Aspinall and Chris Wheeler behind him. We'll have to see if that high side gets rolling here. As the pace car takes that hard left-hand turn. Joe Wright hits that loud pedal. We are back green flag racing, and exactly what I thought. Those 3 take off really well on the high side. They're connected together. Aspinall is going to dive down below green here as they go into turn number 1. But with those 3 cars hooked up on that high side, I don't think it's going to allow Aspinall to get too far as he's down on the bottom. He hits the apron, gets a little loose, but holds on to it. And now he's clear of Eddie Morris as they come down the backstretch. No, Eddie's going to get that run back as Dave Wright trying to take the lead here away from his brother in that 24 machine. So they come off of turn number 4, and that 24 is going to lead this lap here at Auto Club Speedway. So now you got the Wright brothers up at the front. As Joe was taking a look down to the inside, but tucks right back behind. And Dave Wright getting out to a little bit of a lead, and as we've seen tonight, that can be troublesome. Because if you get too big of a lead, it's like Daytona or Talladega. The field can freight train you. As Aspinall now dives back down to the bottom. Big head of steam, big slide job as he comes off of turn number 4, and he's going to take that second position away. And he's going to set his sights on the 24 of Dave Wright. Eddie Morris, Austin Green battling for 3rd and 4th, excuse me. As Aspinall has no help on that high side right now, and Joe's trying to get that bottom lane working, trying to get someone to go with him. Here comes Eddie Morris. Stoney Benfield on the bottom. A lot of movement on that top lane as Chris Wheeler was sideways. Oh, big move from Max McClure, diving down to the bottom. Aggressive move and makes it stick. Slides up in front of Joe Wright, catches the wall. Oh, Eddie Morris gets turned by the 25. Hard contact for Eddie Morris. That's going to bring out the caution. And that's going to bring up another wreckage rewind. See if we can see exactly what happened here to Eddie Morris. And Eddie sees Max catch the wall. Eddie actually caught the wall as well, right in front of the 25. And he goes sliding down through John Deere country. The only damage he really has is from smacking the wall with the right side, and the damage he got from the 25 is he pushed him on by. And tough break for Eddie. As we watch this one, we can actually go on board with Eddie here onto his roll bar and kind of see if he was just kind of following Max here, and that's what caused him to push up the track. Tough break, though. Able to hold on and not hit that inside wall. So, see him on pit road. Joe Wright, our leader, comes on the pit road. Taking some tires. As we got cars rolling off pit road, let's watch the race off as Stoney Benfield is going to be the first car off of pit road. Followed by Mike Rentz, then Joe Wright, Travis Paul, Jimmy Green, Brady Floyd, Stan Mayberry. I know Eddie Morris and Max McClure. There goes Eddie there. Looks like Eddie might have... yeah, Eddie used his reset here. To get a nice clean car. So David Wright will be your leader now. Tyler Aspinall is going to be starting in second. Austin Green, Chris Wheeler, Dylan Dunford, Dean Qualley will be the ones that did not pit on that cycle of pit stops. Stoney Benfield, Mike Rentz only taking fuel along with Travis Paul. Joseph Wright, the first car off pit road with tires. So we'll have to see how that pit strategy plays out here as we're just past halfway. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night for a doubleheader here on Intensity Broadcasting as the LNS Late Model Series kicks off at 8 o'clock, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity Series opening night. It'll be the Maze Construction 250 from Daytona. So you're not going to want to miss that. An awesome season of racing in the SCSRA, so check that out. Going to be all Xfinity. It's going to be an interesting season as there's a lot of road courses in this series as well. A couple super speedways, a couple mile and a halves, a couple short tracks, and a whole lot of road courses. So a couple tracks you normally don't see the Xfinity cars at. Tracks like... let's see, you're going to have Lucas Oil Speedway. You're going to have Rockingham. Season's going to end at Michigan. You're going to have Road America, Martinsville, Talladega, Daytona. It's going to be a great season. So check that one out tomorrow night. That's the SCSRA rolling off at 9:30 here on Intensity Broadcasting. But tonight, we've got settled this one here at Auto Club with the Extreme Racing League. Extreme Forces Racing League, excuse me. As Dave Wright's going to lead him back down to the restart zone. Tyler Aspinall on the outside. Dave Wright hits the loud pedal. He's immediately out front. Gets a great jump on Tyler as you see Austin Green seeing exactly what was happening there with that 24 machine. Gets himself to the inside of Tyler Aspinall trying to take over the second position. But they're all lined up on the high side now. Dylan Dunford does take a peek down to the inside. Here comes Joe Wright. Joe Wright gets real loose off of turn number 2, able to hang on to it, but he's going to lose a ton of positions as he's just going to slide backwards after having to save that car. He's going to fall back all the way into the 8th position as Dave Wright out front and in cruise control right now. Dylan Dunford working around the outside of Austin Green. Trying to set his sights on the 22 of Chris Wheeler. Tyler Aspinall now looking down to the inside of Dave Wright. Trying to put that Carhartt machine back out in front. As they're side by side, now Aspinall has to tuck back in line. A little further back, Mike Rentz, Joe Wright, and Brady Floyd all battling back here, trying to get themselves back up to the front. Mike Rentz has a huge head of steam there, and Joe Wright's going to fall all the way back to the 13th position. So him and Eddie Morris kind of hanging out back here. Hopefully the pack doesn't separate like we saw earlier in the race, or they could be in trouble. Up front, Dave Wright still leading over Tyler Aspinall. Tyler trying to work that little lower line off the corner. Going to have to tuck back in. I see Dave running a little defensive line, weaving a little bit down the backstretch, trying to break that draft, keep that 45 machine behind him. As they continue through turns 3 and 4. So you've seen a lot of domination tonight by anybody with the last name Wright. As Aspinall tries to pull back out again, just not able to make it happen. You see Dean Qualley down on the low side, getting lapped, letting the field come by. Chris Wheeler now with the big move down to the bottom. Huge jump. Goes to the bottom, tries to get around both Aspinall and Joe Wright. Almost clears Dave. I'm sorry, that's Dave Wright, not Joe Wright. Almost clears Dave. But now he lost all his momentum. He's going to have to slide back into the 4th position. So lost 1 position to Austin Green, but it was a nice try for him as we see Mike Rentz now working underneath Dylan Dunford. Mike on some fresher tires than everybody else out there. He's the fastest car on track at the moment, but not able to get back around Dylan. Tyler Aspinall and Dave Wright here battling up front. Tyler tries to poke the nose in there, but just does not have the momentum to get alongside Dave, and he's going to have to tuck right back in to give him a shove down the front stretch. As now we've got 5 cars under a blanket here as Chris Wheeler looks back down to the low side, tries to make that move work again. As they come off of turn number 2. This time Wheeler looks like he's going to have the momentum. Is he going to tuck up in front of Aspinall? No, he's not. He's going to try to get away from everybody. As they go into turn number 3, we see Joe Wright now starting to methodically make his way back up through the field. Aspinall now with the big dive down to the bottom and the slide job to take the lead. Here comes Dave, though, trying to cross him over, not able to. Here he goes now, getting the nose down underneath. Oh, we got 2 around. Dylan Dunford and Brady Floyd around on the front stretch. Jacob Bowen involved as well. Caution is out. That's going to bring up another wreckage rewind here. See what happened to Brady Floyd and Dylan Dunford. I'm trying to find the best angle of this as it looks like Brady Floyd was at the top of 3 wide here. Gets loose. Trying to hold on to it. Looks like he got loose. Comes down to Stony Benfield. Catches Dylan Dunford. Those two get together. Oh, do they catch Eddie Morse? Oh, Eddie gets hit from the side there. Not a lot of damage to that machine. As we see Brady goes sliding through. Dylan Dunford also sliding through the grass. Not a lot of damage to them. But I want to ride along here with Brady to see just what happened. Because Brady looked like he was having a little bit of issues here. We're actually going to go right on board with Brady. See it from his point of view. Oh, Jacob Bowen takes a hard hit in that as well. So it looks like a big run from the 6 of Brady Floyd, just nowhere to take it, miscalculates everything, and that's what causes the big wreck. So got the whole field down on pit road. Stan Mayberry does stay out. We'll watch for the race off of pit road, as it looks like the first car off of pit road is going to be Jimmy Green. Joe Wright, Austin Green, Brady Floyd, Dylan Dunford, Tyler Aspinall, Mike Rentz, Dave Wright, Travis Paul. So when this cycles around, we'll take a look at the pit stops times to see who was able to get on and off pit road the best and who gained some positions right there. So we're working our 5th caution here at Auto Club Speedway. And Stan Mayberry staying out under this caution, able to get himself out into the lead. Take a look at some pit stops times here. And Jimmy Green, Joseph Wright, Austin Green, Brady Floyd, Dylan Dunford all taking fuel on that stop. Tyler Aspinall is the first car with 4 tires. Mike Rentz out there taking 2 tires. Travis Paul taking fuel only. And a bunch of drivers. Dave Wright taking 4 tires. And then Max McClure, Stoney Benfield, Eddie Morris all getting some damage fixed. So they're going to be around pit road for quite a bit longer. As the lights on the pace car are off, Stan Mayberry is going to take the high side this time. That's going to put Austin Green behind him. Joe Wright's going to restart behind Jimmy Green. So as they work their way through turns 3 and 4, we're going to, as they're re-racked and restacked, we're going to get ready to refire here at Auto Club Speedway. Stan Mayberry is going to lead them back down to the restart zone. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing here at Auto Club. We are almost 30 to go here as Joe Wright makes the aggressive move back up to the high side. Right behind the 15 of Austin Green. Now he's going to look to the middle lane. Try to get a push from Dylan Dunford. Jimmy Green up into the 2nd position. Here comes Joe Wright on the bottom side, though. He's got Brady Floyd right there with him. And his brother trying to work his way up there on that bottom lane as well to try to get a 3-car push up to the front as Joe Wright dives all the way down to the white line. Brady Floyd runs a little bit higher than him, trying to keep that momentum, trying not to pinch it down off the corner. And Brady Floyd's going to jump up into the high line. Oh, Dave Wright makes the aggressive move up in front of Max McClure, almost loses it on the front stretch. And Joe Wright now starting to slide backwards, although he's got Tyler Aspinall trying to help him up front here as Joe really throws it in to turn number 2, and he's going to have the big run down the backstretch. And now he's got some help coming in the form of Aspinall and Dave Wright as they work down the backstretch. Aspinall, though, says, no way, I'm going to jump down to the bottom here to try to take it myself. Gets down on the apron, pushes up the track just a little bit, but Aspinall now on that low line trying to get around. Oh, we got one around. Dylan Dunford through the grass on the front stretch. No caution as he's able to get it woed up and back under control and falls to the end of the field. But nice save there for the driver of the 4 machine. As Joe Wright tries to make the big move down under Jimmy Green here. Dave Wright and Tyler Aspinall on that bottom lane trying to give some help. Max McClure up on the high side right behind Brady Floyd trying to have a good finish here. Dave Wright's going to jump back up to that high side. He sees where the momentum is. As Joe Wright and Tyler Aspinall are going to be 3 wide with Jimmy Green off of turn number 4 and down the front stretch. Jimmy Green now able to use that toe from the 44 to get himself out in front of Joe Wright. Joe Wright's going to sneak up behind Brady Floyd up into the 4th position on the high side. Tyler Aspinall has no help now. He's just going to slide backwards here as they work their way through turns 1 and 2. And Brady Floyd way up the track, almost up into the wall. I think he did catch the wall there. As Joe Wright now dives all the way down to the bottom. They were 3 wide for a second, now back to 2 wide. And a great run from that 82 machine, trying to take the lead back away from the 44 of Stan Mayberry. Here comes Max McClure, forcing it 3 wide, down on the bottom. Now they're back to 2 wide, but Brady Floyd's trying to make it 3 wide again as he makes the aggressive move to be the meat in the sandwich as they come through turns 1 and 2. Back to 2 wide through the corner. Joe Wright still down on the bottom, really no help, trying to get something going down there. Trying to get somebody to go with him, and almost gets up into the side of Jimmy Green, able to hold on to it. Tyler Aspinall almost hit the wall there. Now they're 3 wide. Dave Wright jumps down to the bottom to try to get around his brother, and he's going to take the move down to the bottom lane to try to fight around Brady Floyd here, and he's going to take that position away, move Dave Wright up into the 4th position. Brady Floyd now gets that run. He's going to dive down to the bottom. And now we've got teammates lined up with Joe Wright and Dave Wright on the high side. Stan Mayberry way down to the bottom this time through turns 1 and 2, trying to run a defensive line, but that's going to hurt him as he's going to have no momentum off the corner. Here goes Jimmy Green trying to get the lead. Joe Wright with the big move down to the bottom side. Big run on Brady Floyd. Let's see if he's able to take it here through turns 3 and 4. It almost slides up into his brother. Here comes Tyler Aspinall trying to take the lead. They were just 3 wide for the lead. Now back to 2 wide. Aspinall on the top. Dave Wright coming through the middle. Jimmy Green down on the bottom. As they go into turn number 1, 3 wide. Stan Mayberry caught up on that high side now. As we see Joe Wright and the 25 of Jimmy Green trying to work that low side. Dave Wright trying to do a little side draft in here. Oh, Brady Floyd now down to the bottom. Max McClure can't decide which lane to take. They are 3 wide again. Almost 4. They are 4 wide now as we go through turns 3 and 4. Oh, Brady Floyd pushes up into the side of the 25. Catches Mayberry. Oh, Dave Wright gets turned. Goes through the grass. No caution. Brady Floyd also involved in that. Able to keep it going straight. That's going to put Tyler Aspinall out into the lead and with a big lead here. The biggest loser out of that is, besides the 2 that spun, is Joe Wright, as he was trying to battle for the lead when that happened. Now he's going to push Stoney Benfield forward. Right on by Max McClure here as he's going to try to get himself back up to the front. As the field's really starting to spread out again. Tyler Aspinall is going to be in a bit of trouble. He's got a 3/4 second lead now over Stan Mayberry, but with this pack getting formed back up in one single file, they're going to be quite a bit faster than Tyler is by himself. See Stan Mayberry working that high lane, trying to drag that train on by. Max McClure looking down to the bottom, now tucks back in line. Joe Wright right there behind Max. So Joe is able to catch back up to this train. As Mayberry gets a little loose going through the corner. And they're starting to catch Tyler now as this time by at the line. They're a good 3 miles an hour faster than Tyler is right now. Last time by, Tyler ran a 43.0. Stan Mayberry ran a 42.8. So you can see the difference in speed. As now Joe Wright's looking down to the bottom lane trying to get something going as we've caught Tyler now. Is Mayberry going to make the aggressive move to try to get back around Tyler? Jimmy Green, though, looking down to the bottom, not able to get the run going. He's going to have to tuck back in line. Joe Wright able to get himself back up into the top 5. How about Stoney Benfield sitting back in 6th? Having a great run. Not somebody that we talk about too much, but he's having a great solid run now as we got a battle for the lead here. Stan Mayberry and Tyler Aspinall fighting for that top spot. Mayberry, though, loses his momentum. Now he's going to get the big shove from the 25 of Jimmy Green as Max McClure's going to take it 3 wide. Down to the bottom. Joe Wright on the high side. Now Joe's going to throw it in 3 wide, be the meat and the sandwich around Mayberry and McClure. As they come off of turn number 4, McClure with the huge run now. Going to move himself up in the 2nd place. Joe Wright now trying to take that 2nd position back on the low side. He's got Stoney Benfield coming to give him some help. As they go through turns 1 and 2, we have just 22 laps to go to decide it here at Auto Club Speedway. And as these guys are trading positions and battling side by side, that's exactly what Tyler Aspinall's hoping to see, is that he's able to run just a little bit quicker as they're side by side than if they were single file. Joe Wright now looking down to the bottom of Max McClure, trying to retake that 2nd position. Stoney Benfield trying to help out whoever he can. He's going to help Max here get back by Joe, and now Joe's going to get freight trained on that low lane as he's got no help down there. And as they cross the line this time, we'll have just 20 laps to go. Joe Wright now has a little bit of help behind him. He's got Austin Green in the 15, trying to give him a little bit of help here, but they're going to fall all the way back to the back of the pack. And as this run goes on, that is going to set up an epic finish. You're not going to want to miss it, as we have just 20 laps to go here as Auto Club Speedway. And the pack is starting to get formed up here, but Joe Wright now jumps down to the bottom, tries to get around the 25 of Jimmy Green. Max McClure up into the 2nd position. Stoney Benfield, though, having a great run now, sitting back in 3rd. Stan Mayberry trying to get that Dodge up into the top 3. Here comes Joe Wright back down to the bottom. Going to have a little push here from Austin Green. Joe trying to use that little bit of a side draft to try to get around Jimmy Green, but just not able to quite get there as Tyler Aspinall's lead is growing now. And it's something you normally don't see at a track like this, where these guys have to rely on the draft so much. But because they're starting to battle side by side, it's allowing Aspinall to pull away. And his lead now is just over a second as Brian Merle Jr. comes in the chat. Says, look at that competition. And pulling on Joe and Eddie to whoop the field. Eddie has quite a bit of damage right now. He's sitting back in the 10th position, getting caught up in a couple wrecks that weren't his fault. Joe currently sitting in the 7th position, trying to get his way back up there. Dave Wright was just caught up in one as well, and he's sitting back in the 14th position. Now the field is starting to spread out here. And they're trying to race each other, and now it's allowing Tyler Aspinall to pull out even further away. So unless this field decides to get single file to run down that 45 machine right now, Tyler Aspinall is comfortably just pulling away from the field, and he's going to be on cruise control unless we have a caution here in the next 17 laps. Here comes Austin Green down to the bottom of Jimmy Green. And Jimmy's going to take that position away from Austin as they come down the backstretch. And now that lead's starting to shrink. Now they're starting to get in line. We're seeing a big difference in speed as Stan Mayberry was able to start to close in on Tyler Aspinall. The lead just shrank from 1.5 seconds down to 0.7. And that's what these guys need to do, is get themselves in line to try to chase the leader back down. Max McClure now has lost that pack. He's fallen back to the 6th position. Oh, as we got Jimmy Green up into the wall. I'm sorry, that's Austin Green up into the wall. That's going to allow Joe Wright to get right on by. And it's happened. Stan Mayberry has caught Tyler Aspinall now, with a big push from Jimmy Green. And as they come through turns 3 and 4, Aspinall right up against the wall. Here comes Stan Mayberry, looking up to the high side as Aspinall drops down to the apron to try to make a defensive line, but that's going to allow those two just to go right on by. 15 to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Stan Mayberry now your leader, but don't count out Joseph Wright or Austin Green. Those guys are right in the hunt as well. And Chris Wheeler hanging back now in 6th position, leading this second pack. They're staying single file, trying to catch back up to that front group. As Tyler Aspinall now in the 3rd position, trying to figure out what he can do to get himself in victory lane. Again, Austin Green working down to the bottom side of Joe Wright, down on the apron, able to hold on to it, and he's not going to gain any time here. You see that back group starting to sneak into the picture. As we look from the time difference from Austin Green back to Chris Wheeler, and now it's steadily saying right around 3 seconds. We're starting to gain just a little bit. And now it looks like that back group is starting to race a little bit harder. And that's allowing this front group to pull away. Just across the line this time, we're going to have just 12 laps to go. Stan Mayberry continues the lead here over Jimmy Green and Tyler Aspinall, but I know they're not going to be content staying up in line. And Stan Mayberry, last pit on lap 45. Jimmy Green on 55. It's a 90-lap event. Question now remains, does he have enough fuel to make it to the end? Especially as dependent as these cars have been on the draft. Being up there as long as he has, I wonder if he's got enough fuel in the tank to make it to the end. Jimmy Green takes a peek down to the inside, not able to make anything happen there. 11 laps to go here at Auto Club Speedway. Laps are lining down. And now Mayberry and Green starting to pull away just a little bit on Tyler Aspinall, Austin Green, and Joe Wright. Joe now looking down to the bottom of Tyler Aspinall, trying to take over the 3rd position. And he's going to take it. So move that 82 up into the 3rd position. As Stan Mayberry, as I mentioned, coming down the pit road. That's going to give the lead back to Jimmy Green now. He was 10 laps short. Do these guys have enough fuel to make it to the end? If he had to pit 10 laps earlier than everybody else. We'll have to see if everybody else can stay out or if there's going to be a mad dash for the pits here. This is about to get interesting, folks. Now Jimmy Green continues to lead over Joseph Wright, Tyler Aspinall, and Austin Green. And now that these four cars are separated just a little bit, Aspinall looking down to the inside of Joe Wright. He's going to try to get a 2-for-1 here as he goes into turn number 1, trying to take the lead away from the third position. He's going to overdrive it, though. Big slide job up into the wall. And Aspinall is going to lose a ton of time. He loses all his momentum when he slapped the wall there. As they work down into turn number 3. And what about this group back here? Are they running a little bit slower, trying to save fuel to make it to the end? Chris Wheeler, Eddie Morris are running quite a bit slower than that front group was running. So we'll have to see as the race goes on. As we have just 8 laps to go. Now Jimmy Green's starting to pull away from the field just a little bit. Again, I think Joe Wright's got the right idea, just not battling for the lead. When these guys burn their fuel out, same thing with Austin Green. We know being out in front like this is going to burn the most fuel. And if you were to run out of fuel at a track like this, it's a long way back around to pit road. Just saw Dean Qualley come on and off pit road. See the field about to come by Dean here as he just threw some fuel in it to make it to the end. Now Tyler Aspinall trying to use that 17's draft to try to get his way back up to the front as Joe continues to run right in the tire tracks of Jimmy Green. We'll have to watch to see if anybody else comes into pit road here. That'll really tell the tale about how much fuel these drivers have to make it to the end. Now Tyler Aspinall is going to lose a position here to Austin Green. So he was trying to use the 17 help get himself up there, but just not going to happen. Joe Wright up to the high side now. Now he's going to tuck back in behind Jimmy Green. Again, using that draft, trying to keep from using as much fuel as possible. And with your points leaders having so much issues tonight, both Brady Floyd and Chris Wheeler having a couple issues tonight, a win here could really, for either one of these drivers, could really shake up the points. You see Jimmy Green having a little bit of a connection issue. That's allowed Joe Wright to catch right up to his back bumper, though. We have just 4 laps to go here to settle it. And at this point, I know these guys are going to be committed to the end. Is Joe Wright playing the strategy here and just letting the 25 pull him around? Dylan Dunford in the 4 just hit pit road. So that's telling me that these guys are not going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. Unless they've been saving a ton. 3 laps to go as they cross the line. Austin Green in the 15 now comes to pit road from 3rd place. Eddie Morris from 8th place also comes down to pit road. Brady Floyd, Dave Wright also all on pit road currently. I wonder how much fuel these guys have been able to save up front. With 2 laps to go, these guys have pretty much made their bed. Now they have to lay in it. Mike Rentz also now comes down pit road from the 6th position. The big question is, can these guys get out a big enough lead here where if they were to run out of fuel, if they'd be able to coast and make it back across the line. This time by, we're going to get the white flag. Tyler Aspinall is backed way out of it. Is Tyler out of fuel? Tyler Aspinall is out of fuel as our leaders take the white flag here. 1 lap to go. Do either one of these drivers have enough fuel to make it? Joe tucked in behind that 25, saving more fuel, trying to make that 25 burn as much as he can. As we come down the fuel mileage here at Auto Club, off of turn number 2, the 25 ducks down to the bottom. Is he out? He's out of fuel. The leader is out of fuel, Joseph Wright. Able to come down the backstretch. He's still under full power. As they come through turns 3 and 4. Joe's running out of fuel now. Will he be able to coast to the victory? He's going to put it down to the bottom. Checker flag is out. Joe Wright is going to win it on fumes here at Auto Club Speedway. Jimmy Green trying to get across the line. He's still coasting. He is out of fuel. Here comes Stoney Bedfield. Also out of fuel, the 3 machine, or the 75 machine. Jimmy Green's going to cross the line. Stoney Benfield crosses the line. Stan Mayberry also out of fuel. Max McClure gets around as the 44 is out of fuel. Here comes still a great battle. Max McClure's out of fuel as well. Tyler Aspinall still under full power as he was able to save quite a bit. Max McClure crosses the line in 4th. Stan Mayberry trying to get across the line here. He will cross the line in 5th. Tyler Aspinall, they're 6th. Chris Wheeler just exiting turn number 2, so the race is still on for some of these drivers. A couple drivers running out of fuel. Chris Wheeler will be the last car to finish here as he comes across the line. But your winner tonight, Joe Wright, getting a push from his brother to get himself up into victory lane. I don't think Joe's going to have enough fuel to do a burnout, but man, what a race here. As we take a look at your results, Joe Wright on fuel mileage wins by 20 seconds. Jimmy Green, Stoney Benfield, your top 3. Max McClure, Stan Mayberry, Tyler Aspinall, Chris Wheeler, Brady Floyd, and Austin Green round out your top. Mike Rentz round out your top 10. Then Dave Wright comes home in 11th. Eddie Morris 12th. Travis Paul, Dean Qualley, Dylan Dunford, and Jacob Bowen round out the field tonight. But it's all about Joe Wright here tonight with the win on fumes. And let's see if we can pull in our 3rd place finisher here, Stoney Benfield. Stoney, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir, Josh.
Man, great run tonight. Coming home in 3rd, a lot of fuel mileage. I know you were one of the ones coasting to the end there. Were you expecting it to come down to fuel like that, or were you expecting it to have one more caution there towards the end?
No, I knew we probably would not have another caution, and I tried to save fuel. I don't know, for 5, 6, maybe 10 laps, and then I just decided, Josh. I said, you know what? If I run out of fuel, I'm not going to run out saving. I'm going to run out racing. So I went for it.
Well, it paid off for you getting a podium tonight. It's going to shake up the points quite a bit tonight. What was the strategy? When did you decide? Did you have a lap where you just decided where you were going to go for it as opposed to saving?
Well, I knew after that last caution that I was about 2 laps short, and so I don't know. About halfway in the run, I just began to back off a little earlier, and I noticed those other guys, Eddie Morris and some of those guys. I noticed they backed off way before I did. So I just started about, I don't know, 15 laps from the end, 20 maybe, just to try to, save here and there, and I guess I was blessed just to really get to the finish line.
Well, awesome job coming home in third tonight. Anybody you want to thank? Any shout outs you got to give before I let you go?
Yeah, Josh, I really do. 811 Dig is our sponsor, and on my car tonight, and great people. They've helped us and help us with just all kinds of stuff that we need for racing. And so I want to thank 811 Dig, and also before I get off, man, I'm a Christian, and I want to thank Jesus Christ most of all for what He's done for me, and just allowed me tonight to finish third place.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congratulations on the third place finish. And I'm sure as the season goes on, we'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks so much, Josh. Yes, sir.
And it doesn't look like our second place finisher, Jimmy Green, is in the Discord. So let's pull in our winner tonight, Joe Wright. Joe, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, buddy, what's up?
Man, domination from the start, leading the most laps, getting the stage win, and coming across the line completely out of fuel. Man, when did you decide that that was going to become a fuel mileage race, and when did you make the decision to stay out there and let it play out and see if you're going to make it to the end?
So I was racing those guys hard because I knew we were right on that bubble, right? I was racing them hard early in that last run. I was running it low, though. I knew if I took the shorter way around and I was doing some lifting, I'd have a little bit extra than they would. And then I think like 15 or 16 to go, I really started to save about 3/4 throttle, half throttle down the straightaway. And you could see everybody else they got caught onto it and they started backing it off too. And Jimmy Green there was able to tow me around for a while. I don't think he realized. I mean, I know he was trying to save, but I was just staying in his draft and keeping speed the best I could. And man, it worked out. Sputtering at the line for sure.
I called that too because I noticed. I said Joe's just going to hang back here in the draft, save as much fuel as he could, and that's exactly what you did. And just a wild race overall. A lot of drafting. How was this package? I know you're a big fan of Michigan, and this is kind of a sister track to Michigan. So how is being able to enjoy running at Michigan help translate to this track here?
So I think this goes for all the mile and a halfs. Even last week in Texas, here, California, and then Michigan. I mean, all those intermediate tracks are like, I love them in these cars. I don't like the super speedways at all. I don't think you can do the same. You can't get the same runs. I don't think the runs are big enough at the super speedways to make things happen. So I think that's the problem there. But yeah, man, I love this package. I feel like I'm competitive every week. I've had a couple of rough weeks, I think, but this week's been pretty good.
I was talking without being muted here. So again, congratulations on the win tonight, Joe. Great job. Again, dominating kind of the season tonight or the race tonight. Anybody you want to thank? Any shots you got to give before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to Intensity Broadcasting, our sponsor. Everybody associated with the league, Dean, Eddie, and Max are putting this thing on. And man, great job to all the guys out there. I know there was a couple of incidents out there, but I'll tell you what, a way better race this week than last week. Way better. The racing was fun. A lot of 3Y, a lot of 4, even 4Y at times. But yeah, people were just giving and taking, and it was fun.
Yeah, it was a wild one for sure to watch. Good one to watch, and we appreciate you shouting us out here on Intensity Broadcasting. Again, congratulations on the win. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon as the season goes on.
Later, Yash.
So that was your winner, Joe Wright here in the Extreme Forces Racing League. Congratulations to him. And again, great race. A lot cleaner than we saw last week, which I kind of expected. These guys are really showing that they can run around each other. A couple incidents from some big runs, and I think that's still a little bit of learning in this car, in this package. Joe was talking about the runs that you can get. So we saw Brady Floyd have that big run down the front stretch with nowhere to take it and ended up getting into a couple drivers. So we'll see as the season goes on if these guys can kind of work on that, figure out exactly what kind of runs they can get. And again, I thought it was an awesome race overall. Congrats to Joe Wright, Jimmy Green, Stoney Benfield for the top three. As I mentioned, somebody we weren't expecting to see up there at the front. Well, they made it up there. So a great job for them. Don't forget to join us tomorrow night for another double header as we have the LNS Late Model Series kicking off at 8 o'clock Eastern, followed by the SCSRA Xfinity Series will be starting their season tomorrow night at Daytona. So you don't want to miss that. So check that out. Again, don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, whether you're watching on YouTube, on Twitch, on Facebook. If you're watching on eRacing TV, we'd appreciate you being there as well. If you don't know what eRacing TV, it's a free app that you can download for your Fire Stick or your Roku. And you can watch live iRacing 7 nights a week. So check that out, eRacing TV. And that's us. That's going to do it here from Intensity Broadcast. Again, my name's Josh Hall. Do appreciate you coming out and joining us here on Intensity. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over and out.